Somehow I got into talking about soils, which I'm sure you're not interested in. Cookies! Okay, it's been a little while since I've had a cookie. And I did my shot, so the insulin's coming through. See, the double-edged sword is if I do my treatments and then I don't end up eating, I don't end up putting some carbs or something in, once again, I can become hypoglycemic again. This is the hidden world of diabetic. I think my brother's pretty diabetic. I'm surprised he's not fully diabetic. Surprised a lot of people aren't fully diabetic. My son now, I guess, I'm told, is diabetic. I was always amazed that he lasted so long. Because he's more morbidly obese, and as far as I know, his diet is heavily carb. But with an autistic, it's kind of difficult to get him. I know Lisa, his one-on-one, used to cook stuff up with cauliflower rice, try to get him away from the carbs. Anyhow, kind of sad because we expect him to die young. Most autistics do. Haha. Well, universe, if I'm autistic, I'm gonna thwart you. I'm gonna thwart you because I'm gonna live to 105 and beyond. By then, I can't guarantee that I'll want to, but that's what I've been told. So I got that. So we were discussing some earth-shattering subjects, metaphorically. Get the hence, vile creature. Hmm. You ever see the Will Ferrell skit or film or whatever it is from before he really hit it big? And he's living in an apartment and he's got his kid is like a baby in diapers, right? And the how it works is Ferrell is like the renter, right? And the baby is like the landlord. And Will Ferrell opens the door and he goes through a whole conversation with the baby, and the baby's like blah 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 blah. Blah. And Will Ferrell's like, "Well, you gotta give me 2 more weeks. I'm guarantee you, I'll have the money." Blah 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 blah. It's very funny. It's highly hilarious. So language, the very deep subjects for making a machine mind machine, quad M. See how I slipped that branding in? Because I should be able to claim the rights to quad M. Is there another quad M out there? Well, that's part of a business plan. The research you want to do, like researching the safety of Cloud9 Home, and can I use that? Well, yes. All I found was a like local real estate outfit in someplace back east. It just happened to call themselves Cloud9 Home or whatever. But it looked like it was internet roadkill, information super higher highway roadkill, if you remember that term. There's a lot of roadkill on the internet. What's roadkill? Well, I'll tell you because might as well. We don't got anything else to do. Oh, wait, we do. Never mind. Later. Is that you, laptop? Well, that was a weird sound. It sounded kind of like a disk, like would be in a hard drive. And I have dealt with hard drive crashes. Maybe that's what happened to my house server that died recently. I haven't really troubleshot it because I bought a new one. I just haven't configured it yet. I haven't hooked it up and configured it. Probably because then it makes even more work for me because I need to get the Ubuntu installed on it and get lamps set up and configure it and be frustrated by how things. At least you should be able to go to the internet and get ideas on how to do it. People telling you how to do it, like I do. I've done a lot of that, especially because that's part of when you're a solo act for systems development. Part of it, the deliverables ideally should be, yeah, it should. Can I have you fill in the blanks for me on some of this stuff? Oh. What are we talking about? Hi, Jen. Bye, Jen. Hi, Dave. Bye, Dave. It's a puzzle. Figure it out. So, language, communication, patterns upon patterns, and how does the protocol happen? Well, I'll tell you. When last we left, we are talking about communication between two entities and how does an understanding happen. Well, we've gotten a ways on that too. Different languages, they don't understand each other at all because they're using different languages. So then they start seeking, well, is there some common language or something? Okay, this guy's Portuguese, but he's found out that this guy can maybe speak some Spanish. And Portuguese is similar enough to Spanish. And if you know Spanish, you probably can make an educated guess on what Portuguese is saying, but I don't speak Portuguese. Um, but he's discovered this guy knows Spanish. He knows Spanish. Whoa, hold on, slow down. I only know words. I don't know sentences. I certainly don't know nuances of a rapid stream of the language. Oh, okay. So probably the next thing is they. Oh wait. Oh wait. They are trying to find a common level, and here I'm not necessarily saying language. So it's a throttling. I use throttling concept a lot in my design. Is it a throttling? No, what would be called? If you had a gauge here and you had a gauge here, and what your goal is that you want it to be like here. So this is bouncing around, this is bouncing around, and you're getting frustrated. Why don't you turn the dial up? Yeah, okay, we got it. Did you understand any of that? So, in our scenario, this guy starts slowing down. I didn't, this is translated or subtitles, maybe. Uh, can you understand me now? Can now. I picked out a few words. Huh? What'd you say? Because remember, we're not at a consensus of understanding yet. They can't really talk very well to each other. Um, but it continues on like that until finally we're both talking the same language. And when you yak off, and you can even we're fluent. Hey, wow, we both know English. It's a lingua franca, like French is in Africa. So we've got a lingua franca in common. Yay, we speak basic or standard language or whatever. And now we can be fluent and yeah. And then what happens next? Nobody's listened to the other person. So how can you have communication if you're not even listening? Yeah, I bet you're getting little things fired off in your mind. Yeah, like this. And well, what about that? And so so we don't want that. So how do we prevent it? I don't know. But they're talking, even though they're probably trying to talk over each other, like in a bar or something. I'm sure you've experienced that, where the it's a din. You could call it a din. Noise level so loud because uh, everybody's trying to talk over each other because the noise is so loud they can't hear the person right next to them, so they speak louder, and you get louder and louder and louder, and it's a runaway. Like a thermal runaway. It's a runaway condition. And then maybe you've got a band like the Beatles or In Excess, and they're trying to get attention with, hey man, we're playing our music. Will you listen and give us good feedback, man? Our boss is watching. And so they got to get louder and louder. Oh man, Steve Miller Band. First concert I ever went to, Steve Miller Band. Without details, I went down during intermission or whatever. I went down and looked at the stage, and behind him, the back of the stage is just these monstrously huge speakers, all stacked up like three high or something. I mean, they're really big. They're not like this. They're like, I mean, like they're like taller than a human. Wow. Anyhow, bounce.